Welcome to the week in YouTube finance.
We had some major breaking news released just minutes ago. The United States economy just posted its worst GDP number in over 3 years since the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time in years, the United States economy contracted, not grew during the first quarter of 2025. According to statistics released by the United States Commerce Department literally minutes ago, in the first quarter of 2025, the United States economy contracted by about 0.3%. Now, economists had predicted that and projected that the economy would shrink about 0.2%, so this is worse than expectations. But it shows that the economy is reacting significantly negatively toward Donald Trump's ongoing trade wars, towards the administration's ongoing economic policies. And for the first time in 3 years, the economy is shrinking, not growing. This is a major recession indicator. Alarm bells are going off on Capitol Hill right now and in Wall Street. So we'll see what the day brings us. But folks, bad news right now for the United States economy. Now, a lot of folks have asked, well, how can you support my work? Right now, I'm actually going on Capitol Hill to potentially meet with members of Congress.
Everyone is freaking out about tariffs, especially the car industry. But with all these proclamations and exemptions and walkbacks and numbers flying around, who can keep up? We're gonna get to the bottom of the on, then delayed, then on, then delayed, then adjusted, then expanded, then delayed tariff whirlwind we've all been caught up in, and find out what the hell is going on and what it means for you. This is a Donut News Network special report. I'm Nolan Sykes. Now, before we can get to the cars, let's look at how tariffs actually work. Tariffs, in plain terms, are an additional tax on imports. But who is actually paying them? And how does that affect you? Let's use an example. You live in the US and you're in the market for a new car. You do some research and settle on a $30,000 Subaru BRZ. There's a 25% tariff on imported cars, and the BRZ just so happens to be built in Japan. Whoever imports the car, whether it's the manufacturer or your local car dealer, has to pay a 25% tariff on the car's value, which goes to the US Treasury to release it into the country. In our example, that's an extra $7,500 just to get it on the showroom floor. Too bad for the importer, right? Chances are that some, if not all of that extra cost is going to be passed on to someone else. That somebody is you, Aiden, and that sad boy banner you put on the rear window is probably going to be hit with another tariff too. While there have been discussions about potential exemptions or pauses in the tariffs to allow car makers time to adjust their supply chains, the lack of consistent policy direction has made it difficult for small businesses in particular to plan effectively. You know, I was just talking to a small business owner who you might know very well, and he said it's impossible to make any long-term plans right now because the market is so unpredictable, and that's just one anecdote. All right, interrupting myself for a major update we got this morning right before we were going to publish this video. We got a big update. Apparently, the White House is going to give automakers a little bit of relief on these tariffs. Quote, this change will allow any domestic automaker to apply for and receive a, quote, import adjustment or break worth up to 3.75% of the total value of its fleet of vehicles that were assembled in the U.S., and then that break goes down to 2.5% the next year. And we don't know for sure if that 3.75% will be passed on to you, the customer, and we also don't know if there will be another change in the near future, but that's how this news story has gone. So in the meantime, back to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a very dense and complex topic, and I hope we did a good job of explaining, at least giving you a little foundation to understand what we're going through right now. If you're a small business owner, I hope you guys are figuring it out. I hope you're doing all right, seriously, sincerely. If you want to see our video on Nissan and Honda, we did a similar video to this one, like a news breakdown of what was going on with them.
The next 100 days will be crucial for the success of President Trump. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. The media has been full of stories about President Trump's first 100 days, a tradition that goes back to Franklin Roosevelt and the kickoff of the New Deal in 1933 to fight the Great Depression. But for this commander-in-chief, it'll be the second 100 days that will define his presidency. The issues are daunting. Domestically, of course, the two big things are tariffs and taxes. The first quarter saw a heartening advance in business investment, But some companies are turning cautious because they need to know what conditions they'll be operating under. Consumers are also becoming cautious. Tariffs will initially raise prices, both because they are taxes and also because they are indeed disruptive to supply chains, which, as we saw with the pandemic, can also make countless items more costly or even in short supply. All this makes it even more imperative to get a truly big, beautiful tax cut enacted as soon as possible. But given the turbulent economic circumstances, Republicans and President Trump must quickly grasp that a far bigger tax cut is needed than what they're considering now. Personal income tax rates must be whacked. Right now, Republicans are toying with raising the cap on deductions for state and local taxes from $10,000 to $50,000. It would be far more constructive and impactful to slash the 22% and 24% income tax brackets to 15%.
Today on Forbes, the top 10 richest people in the world, May 2025. 7 of the world's 10 wealthiest billionaires are starting off May with fatter fortunes than a month ago. Our top 10 richest people on Earth list is as of May 1st, 2025 at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. As a reminder, stock prices fluctuate routinely, so the net worths on our list may change on a daily basis. Forbes tracks the daily changes on our real-time list of billionaires. Forbes has been keeping track of the world's billionaires since 1987. In April 2025, we found 3,028 of them for our annual list. Of the top 10 richest in the world, the biggest gainer over the past month is Elon Musk, the world's #1 richest. Shares of Tesla, one of his most valuable assets, recovered from a plunge early in April to end the month up about 7%. That contributed to a $46 billion increase in Musk's fortune in the past month, landing him at $386.5 billion, per Forbes' estimates. The rise in fortunes of those at the top of the billionaires ranking came as the Nasdaq climbed 0.7% in the past month. As a group, the top 10 kick off this month worth $1.77 trillion, up $40 billion compared to April 1st. After Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg, at number 4 is Larry Ellison, the co-founder of software firm Oracle, with a net worth of $176.9 billion. Ellison's fortune rose by $1.9 billion in the past month, as shares of Oracle ticked up. At number 5 this month is Warren Buffett, with a net worth of $166.4 billion. Buffett's fortune inched up by $500 million in the past month, a rounding error for someone worth more than $160 billion. His rank remains unchanged from April at number 5. At number 6 is Bernard Arnault, with a net worth of $146.5 billion. At number 7 and 8 are Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, respectively. Page's fortune grew by $3.4 billion during April as Alphabet shares climbed, leaving him with a net worth of $132.7 billion to start the month of May. Like Page, Brin's fortune also expanded in the past month, up $3.3 billion to $127.2 billion. At number 9 is Amancio Ortega, and at number 10 is Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft and the owner of the LA Clippers. A 4% jump in Microsoft shares in the past month pushed up Ballmer's fortune by $4.4 billion, per Forbes' estimates, to $114.1 billion. For full coverage, check out the Forbes Wealth Team's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.